If this video has shown up on your feed today, that means it's a sign that you have to start creating and not consuming. Hi everyone, I am Darshani and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know I've taken a while to get back, but I promise that I will stay consistent. I'm super excited to get right into today's video. So, this idea actually came across my head because I saw it somewhere and I put up a story which said, create before you consume. It just stayed in my head and I actually loved it so much that I've made it my like my wallpaper, and it just makes me really happy every time I see it because I know how difficult it can be to create for anybody out there, especially if you're doing a 9 to 5. And sometimes when I'm just creating a lot of content, I just feel like maybe all of this is not worth it. I think these are things that people feel when, especially when they're a small creator, if they are a micro creator or they're starting out. I want to tell you that you really matter. What you are doing really matters. And if you're trying to put out work out there, I'm so freaking proud of you, because you know what? There are people who will consistently say that, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this. But if you are taking actions for anything that you believe in, whether it's workouts or whether it's your dream life, your business, your YouTube, your studies or your reading or whatever that you want to focus on, and you are taking the steps to do it, I'm super super proud of you, because I know it can be hard and life can be really really bitchy sometimes. But if you are able to do something for yourself, I'm so proud of you. You keep going, and let's get right into today's video. So I actually want to start today's video with a story. So when I was younger, I was, I think, like freshly passed out of my BCom. I studied BCom and I used to work at this pastry shop. Now this is a true story, all right? So I used to work at a pastry shop and I was just doing like sales. So I was making, at that point I was making like 3,000 rupees, which was a big deal for, especially if you were somebody from a village, and I was like in a smaller village. So I was making those 3,000 rupees and I used to work about like 6-8 hours and just like take care of the pastry shop, like maybe ordering ordering what is required for the pastry shop, like serving customers and talking to customers and understanding what we need, etc etc. And one fine day, it was a very slow morning and nobody had come in, and I was staring right outside. There was a road and I was looking at the road, and just like, there were cars and bikes passing by, and I just was staring at the road and thinking, whatever I'm doing just feels like a little, like, mundane, worthless, as if I'm not doing what my potential is. It's not like I was not going to do anything, but at that point in my life, I just kept feeling like, I'm stuck in this loop and I'm making, like, I was really grateful for whatever I was making back then, but I was still just in a place where I just felt like I'm not doing enough, I'm not creating enough, I'm not doing enough to do something for myself, for my career, whether it's just like studying, or whether it is the next step for my business, or whether it was YouTube. I didn't even know that I would do YouTube back then. I always wanted to. I was always the curious kid who wanted to do YouTube, but I always thought maybe I wouldn't do it because I was super self-conscious about myself. I didn't come from a lot, so like if you're a child and you're especially from a very middle class family, you tend to get a lot of insecurities, which I had. I was super insecure about my hands, about my feet, about how my eyes looked, about how my hair was. Oh my god, having curly hair was the worst growing up, because you didn't know all of these, that curly hair is good and curly hair practices are good, etc. etc. It made me super, super self conscious because I didn't have money to do anything. I didn't dress properly. I was not doing what I wanted to do in life, and I was doing something for someone else. Like, I was using my time, my precious time, to do something for someone else. I respect the lady that I worked for. She was extremely passionate about her work. She was extremely passionate about pastries, and I'm so grateful that she gave me the opportunity. But at that point, I just felt like I was replaceable. I could any day be told to get out, and I was not doing anything for myself, which is the worst feeling, especially for people who really want to do something in life. And if you are one of those people, this is the right place for you. I'm so glad you're here and watching this. I hope today's video gives you the motivation to do something that you actually want to do in life, and you're not stuck at the job that you are currently. If you're doing a job and it's paying you money, if it's paying your bills, great, keep the job, but also work on yourself so that you can get better at whatever you want to do. I remember this quote I read somewhere which said that ends to do something that will give you freedom from your mundane and boring weekdays. And I hope this serves you as a reminder. Okay, let's get right into the topic where we talk about consumption overall. I've realized, so I've been working for about 3 months now, and I've realized that I consistently come back home and start consuming content, whether it is consuming something on the TV, something on my phone, and the scroll is so bad. The doom scroll is the worst. I honestly did like a 21-day detox, which was really crazy, and it made me realize, our phones have become so important for us, and our books have become so important for us, that attached we are to our phones, we consuming, that we are not creating. You are supposed to be a creator, especially if you want to build something for yourself. You are supposed to create something and then consume. You know how important it is that you become disciplined about creating. And I'm not just telling it to you, I'm telling that to myself as well, because I know I slack sometimes. I know that I'm not disciplined enough to do it, but this is a reminder to you and me to both start creating good quality content that will finally let us do what we actually want to do in life. The reason I decided to take a break from Instagram was because I was consuming so much content. I was feeling like I'm doing something productive, but at the end of the day, I constantly felt like I wasn't enough. I constantly felt like I was comparing myself. I constantly felt unsatisfied about my own life. I constantly felt like I was just not going anywhere with my life, and I needed to change that. So I had to make a drastic move, getting out of Instagram and figuring out what the hell do I actually want to do. So I've been reading books, I've been doing self work since ages now, and I've realized that I consistently keep consuming. Like, I'm consuming a book and then another book and then another book. I'm consuming like videos which will tell me what to do, but there's no action and there's no creation at all. There's this unsatisfied feeling at the end of the day where I just feel like I'm not doing enough. And on some days, honestly, I forget about it because I'm too tired from a gym, my work, etc. But then at the end of the day, at the end of the week, I just feel like, oh, something is missing and I've not done something. And it just makes me feel so sad, because I know that I am supposed to create new things. I know that you need to create bigger things for yourself and not get stuck in this freaking loop of, hey, I go to the office, I go to the gym, and I come back and I sleep. No, you are supposed to create something big, whether it is taking one step towards what you want to do, then focusing on what you don't have and what you can't do. Stop comparing your day 1 to somebody's day 100, because you might not be able to create the content that I'm able to create, because I took about 2-3 years to get here, and everybody has their own journey. Nobody's good at anything. Everybody takes their time to get to where they are. So don't compare yourself to anybody's like very gym hot body, or whether how good they are on their cameras, or how amazing cameras they have, or phones they have, or laptops they have. They had to struggle. Everybody had to struggle to get here. So stop consuming and start creating. You don't need anything else from whatever you have right now. You have everything in the world. The best day to start was yesterday. It was not even today, it was yesterday. So start creating right now. So I recently spoke to a friend, and he spoke about how creating for him has become so much more easier, because when he started to create, he used to put his work out there, get his feedback and get better, and then create more. So once you start creating, whatever form of creating it is, get started already, because once you start, you always consistently get feedback. So even on my videos, right, I consistently get feedbacks. I consistently get people telling me that, hey, you're doing good, or you're doing bad, or maybe you should wear this, or you should wear that. And honestly, with those feedbacks, it just makes me feel like, oh, somebody's watching. And if you are lucky enough, and I hope you are, some people will come and tell you that you changed their life, or you made an impact in their life, or they'll tell you that, hey, I wish I could do that. You know what, at this is something that I have to consistently remind myself, that hey, after a couple of years, say 5 or 10 years down the line, you'll have kids, you'll have your bigger businesses, you'll have so much more, you'll have so much energy, and you'll have to focus all of that energy into these ventures and kids and everything. So take the energy you have today to create something for yourself, because the time is now. right now, because if you don't create today, you're going to regret it tomorrow. You might have seen this meme going around ki, hey, I have to go and do 9 to 5 office today because I was too shy to dance on TikTok in 2020. You know what, it hurts me the most, because honestly, if I would have started it, I would never have to go to a job. I would never have to do a 9 to 5, and I could honestly take all the time in the world to put into my creative pursuits. But you know what, life is not fair, life is not same for everyone. So if you've any day thought about all of this, how important you are, how important your work is, how important it is for you to put it out there, take the step right now, right here, today. Promise me you'll do it. So this is something I've heard from all these creators out there. I have seen somebody who is very younger than me, and she's been creating amazing content. I'm super proud of her. And when I spoke to her, she's told me that there is some kind of fulfillment that she gets, and I know it because I've done it a little bit, but I've done it. And she said, and we got to talking, and she told me that when you scroll on, say, Instagram or some videos, you just watch, you consistently watch and watch and watch, and you get like this tiny dopamine hit, and that just distracts you from your bigger goal. And she said that creating her own content and getting those views for herself made her much more happier than the dopamine hit that she's getting from the Instagram reels that or videos that she's watching. And that made me think of how easy it is for us to get distracted and get lost in our world of just consuming and not focusing on creating. I'm not saying that I'm doing a great job. I think I'm also doing a decent job, but I need to get back at it, and so do you. All of these things, it does feel like I'm telling you to become another YouTuber. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that creating something for yourself, whether it is a small business or whether it is going and building your gym body or going your and working on your side hustle or your passions, is super important. It just feels like, we get so busy in consuming. I remember this when I was back in Pune. I used to watch a lot of jive and West Coast swing videos. So these are like dance forms which are fun to watch, but I kept consuming that content over and over and over and over again. It became like a habit for me, and I didn't realize what I was doing until one day I actually learned it, and I actually put action into my work, and I started creating like the next move or started learning the next move. It totally changed, because now watching those videos doesn't really make me happy. Actually learning those skills really does make me happy. And that's the difference we need to spot from becoming a consumer and consuming all the different kind of things to creating. There is such a huge difference. The people who create, they feel this kind of fulfillment. They are just so happy, they are just so determined to do things, and they genuinely do feel like they can do anything in the world. And honestly, I would rather be a creator and somebody who feels like on the top of the world because they know themselves so well, than be a consumer and just be lost in that loop. If you think that if you'd rather make money out of your content then spend money on the content you're consuming, you're at the right place. This is your reminder. This is where you start. You start creating right now. So I know I've been saying that stop consuming and start creating. I know it can be difficult. So here is my action plan. Start creating content, or start creating what you actually consume. If you consume a lot of business related content, start creating your own business content. If like, especially for me, I love watching content which gives me like the direction, like quotes. They make me really happy, they put me in the right headspace. So I started creating content like this. I know people who want to start multiple businesses but are so busy in just like consuming in their daily life that they're not able to put their first step into their own business. So start creating one single thing every single day for yourself, for the people that you want to serve. And I remember reading it somewhere: create the content you want to consume, write the book you would want to read, build the businesses that you would use, and start doing that step right now. So if you start watching Shark Tank or something, you will understand that most of these creators who've created like bigger businesses, they'll always come and tell you that, hey, I saw this problem, I had this problem, and hence I created this. Become one of those people. Start creating solutions for the problems you have. And you know what? You don't even have to do big things. Start small. Start with smaller things. When I started creating content, I knew that I didn't have like a bigger phone, or I didn't have a camera, or didn't have lighting or anything. But I started. Even when I go back and watch those videos, I still do get cringed. But you know what? Those videos gave me the confidence to stand here and talk to you 15 minutes straight and create the content that I want to create today. The person who took the risks in 2020 is bearing the gifts right now in 2025. Remember this, I want to say this loud and clear. There is always an entry point where you can start. You can start small and you can start today, but if you get busy consuming, you're not going to get there. So the step 2 that you need to start doing right now is to do something for your business, for your Instagram, for your YouTube consistently. Show up consistently and do one thing for yourself consistently. You don't have to build the best product on day one. It will happen eventually. Start doing small things that will help you build your product. Say if you want to start a YouTube video, you don't have to start making production level videos on day one. Day one, you just put your phone out there and just speak your mind. Just focus on what you want to do. Just figure out what other creators are doing, but put that time in actually creating something for yourself. I know consumption is easy. Scrolling on your phone is extremely easy. I do it sometimes. But you know what is going to give you the most value in life is how you make time for your own creation. And I know creating is very hard because you will not get the feedback that you actually want to hear. You will not be very good at anything. There is so much resistance in actually creating from starting to consume. But doing that one thing is going to be the best thing that you do for yourself. I remember hearing this somewhere where somebody said that anything that is hard is worth creating because that is going to have an impact on not just your life, on lives of people that actually matter to you. Thinking about what should I do, how should I do it, and start actually taking actions. Just start doing things that you think you need. Start creating the product, start creating the content that you actually consume. Here is your point 3. When you create it with zero expectation. Don't expect that people are going to see it and you're going to have a best feedback in the world. When I started creating my content, there were like 200 people, and now I think we are about 500 out there, and I get really good comments, so which is great. I'm very grateful for that. But when I started creating, there was nobody who was supporting it. Create even when nobody's watching. Create because you want to create. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to create. And on days it even doesn't reach anybody, still create, because you know what, one day your time will come and everything is going to click and everything is going to work out for you. The point number 4, which is going to be the most important point, is when you start creating, be grateful for whatever you have and consistently start creating. When you start creating, never stop, because whatever you have, even if you get 10 views, or even if one person likes your video among like the hundredest people that you sent it to, that one person can open up doors for anything in the world. I have heard so many stories where one person liked somebody's video or one person liked somebody's product and it went crazy and it worked out so well for so many people. And honestly, the right people will find you at the right time. People get really passionate about accepting new products and trying new products and trying new channels and trying to figure out what works for them. So wait for your right people and they will find you. But for that, you have to consistently keep creating and get better at what you are. And I've realized something: when I am putting something out in the world and I'm creating my own content, I somehow get very focused at my job. I somehow get very focused at where I'm spending my time. I'm not saying that you're doing bad by spending so much time on your phone, so much time consuming. I'm saying if you have a goal, if you have a dream, you have to start working on it today and start creating it today and make me proud. And that's all for today's video. I'm so grateful for every one of you who stayed and watched today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.